I want to run something by you that I really hesitate to bring this up or not because people are going to drag me for it.
Okay.
And I think Bailey might have brought this up too the other day, but I said, let's talk about that on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
If you cheat on your spouse
or boyfriend or girlfriend.
Or girlfriend, your partner, let's call it.
Mm-hmm.
But you end up with somebody that is the love of your life, does that justify the cheating? I say yes.
Ooh.
I do. I've known so many people. If you lived as long as I have, you know people who have cheated. And we all have this stigma about people who cheat. Oh, they're awful, and you're a dog, or you're just a horrible person. I've known wonderful, kind, warm people who just were not happy with their relationship, so they found somebody that just that it was magic.
Don't you think you should leave your relationship though first?
It's not always. It doesn't always work that way.
It's cheaper to keep her. That's what they say.
Well, it's cheaper to keep her, but I think in an ideal world you would say yeah. But I think what happens is you're in a relationship that you're content and you're okay with, but not in love. So you're not planning on leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Then you meet somebody who gives you the butterflies and you just feel this incredible connection and you don't mean to cheat, but all of a sudden you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you leave your partner for them. And then they become the love of your life. I know somebody right now, and if I said their name, you would recognize their name, but I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But they cheated with somebody. And they are now married to that person.
Mm-hmm.
And they're wonderful together.
Yeah.
They were never really happy before. Now they're so happy.
I don't think you can say, though, that, like, they didn't mean to cheat, but then they ended up cheating. That's kind of like saying, like, oh, I don't know how. It just happened. It just happened. You have choices. You have your...
You do.
Yeah.
But it's a little naive to think, you know what, I'm going to wait until I get a divorce before I start seeing you and hooking up with you. I think it's a little bit naive.
I think it's a little selfish to go about cheating while you're still in a relationship with someone else.
But sometimes you're not thinking about leaving your partner until you fall in love. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to try to absolutely justify everything. In an ideal world, in your utopia that you tend to live in, Jenny, you would get a divorce or break up with the person before you even held hands with this new person.
I wouldn't be with someone who I wasn't over the moon ecstatic with. That's why I was very single throughout most of my 20s, because I was not going to settle with someone who I didn't feel amazing with. Like, I just think that some people might settle, yes, early because you're young. You don't really like fully understand love, but then leave that person and don't put them through the torture of being cheated on.
Mm.
In an ideal world, yes. In an ideal, but it just doesn't always work out.
I feel like saying in an ideal world is not the way to put it. I think in a like good moral world is the way I would put it.
Okay,
yes.
if you look for immorality, you're going to find it everywhere.
People do not agree with you, Dave.
I'm not
over
surprised.
text message.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
Well, they say, shut up, Dave.
Well, that's not a good argument.
Someone says leave before you cheat. Then you're just a piece of S if you don't.
Okay, then explain to me why there are so many wonderful people who have cheated.
I'm not saying that there aren't wonderful people who have cheated. I just think it's a selfish act to cheat if you don't fully love that person.
But you can have loved them at some point.
Okay, then why didn't you leave them once you realized you didn't love them anymore?
Like I said, it's cheaper to keep her. Sometimes it's easier to stay with somebody.
That's an awful excuse.
It is, but it's something that people do. Sometimes it's easier to be like, oh, I'm just going to stay in this situation because I'm comfortable, as opposed to I'm going to leave and change the trajectory of all of our lives.
Yeah, I get it. I mean,
like, why can't you have a conversation with your partner, though? And be like, hi, I'm not happy with this.
Well,
and then,
ideally you will. I mean,
yeah.
And I think sometimes you don't know that you're deeply in love with this other person until it's too late. You've already been intimate. You've already been physical. You've held hands. You said, I love you. Then you go and tell your partner. It happens all the time. I'm not here to encourage cheating. I'm only saying, I'm throwing it out there that if you cheat with somebody and you leave your partner for them, is it justified? If you're happy?
It's justified for the person who's cheating and then who leaves to find their love of their life. It's justified for them because they're like, yeah, I cheated. I did a bad thing, but I found the love of my life, versus the person who's getting cheated on. And then it's like, oh, not only did my partner cheat on me, but now they're with this other person who then they're with together. And it's kind of just like a big old slap in the pie hole.
Allie is on the phone. Hi, Allie.
Hi.
What do you want to say about this? I made a statement a while ago. I said, if you leave your partner, you cheat on your partner, and the person that you cheat with ends up to be your soulmate, your forever love of your life, then it's okay. Then it's justified. What do you think?
question back. Is it still justified with Princess Diana and Charles?
I don't know that
I don't
situation.
either.
Princess Diana so Princess Diana and Charles were married. Charles cheated on Princess Diana with Camilla. After Diana died, then he married her.
Ooh.
And it's just kind of this big, I don't know, drama with the royal family, and I don't know if that's justified or not.
You know, I don't care about the royal family, but I will only say that I'm glad that Prince Charles ended up with somebody that he really loved, because that was almost an arranged marriage, if I remember right. That was so long ago. That was like 1981. So most of us don't really remember the details from that one. Jennifer actually agrees with your boy Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi, Dave.
Tell me why you're on my side.
Well, I cheated 16 years ago, and we've been married ever since.
16 years ago. Now, let me ask you, in the Jenny and Bailey world of, well, you should tell your partner that you're going to leave before you cheat, why didn't you do that?
I didn't plan on leaving until I fell in love with him because I cheated.
I think that's true.
It just sounds like kind of an excuse because you don't know that next person is going to be the love of your life at the time that you, yeah.
Well, right. Until you do know they're the love of your life.
It was the best mistake I ever made.
Best mistake you ever made.
I feel like I'm very happy that you found the love of your life, but do you not regret the way that you potentially hurt your ex then?
No, he cheated on me like 5 times before this. So.
Okay, so that's a different situation. Honestly, that's a very different situation than like her just going out and cheating.
And I don't think women cheat for sex. I think they cheat for emotions.
Okay. I mean, I think that is the stereotype that more women do cheat because of emotions versus like they're just horned up, you know, like let me get some of that.
I really think this.
Dave, I agree with you about the Princess Diana thing because actually when you think about it, rest in peace to her, she was beautiful. But everybody knew that him and the other lady were already together, so really she shouldn't have ever married that guy.
I don't think she had a choice, really.
What do you mean?
I don't think she really had a choice because, like you
didn't have a
said,
choice?
Princess Diana.
Yeah, I think it was kind of an arranged marriage, I think, in a way, but I don't think they really ever loved each other. Text messages, Dave is spot on. That's my situation, spot on. I don't condone what I did, but I felt trapped, and I wouldn't have gotten out had I not made the move that I did. It doesn't make it okay, but we don't live in a perfect world.
We don't live in a perfect world, and I'm not going to put myself in the shoes of people who were in relationships and like realized later on that wasn't their person, because I luckily haven't been in that kind of situation. But for me, I just think that the moral thing to do is to talk to your partner ahead of time and try to figure something out before you go out and cheat on them.
Yeah. This text agrees with me and Jenny. It says, if you're unhappy in your relationship, you should leave before it gets to that point that you open yourself up to find the love of your life. There's no excuse to stay in a relationship that you're not happy with and actively receive love from someone else.
But people do it all the time. People stay in a relationship they're not happy with for whatever reason. Sometimes financial, sometimes for the kids. Sometimes you're stuck in a marriage that really ended, like 3 years in, but now it's 15 years later, and now you're like, huh. But then you find somebody, and you don't say, I'm going to go out and find somebody to cheat with. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden you find somebody who's at work or at the gym or whatever, and then you do cheat.
But how about the question of like, do you trust? So you're the other person. Are you going to trust that person that just cheated on their other partner?
They do say if you cheated with me, you'll cheat on me.
Yeah, I've
I
heard
feel
that.
like that's a whole other element.
There maybe is something to that, but I think if you have a serial cheater, so in other words, you're dating a guy and he's cheated on you with like 16 different women, he will cheat on you as well. Mm-hmm. I really believe that. But if he's really not cheated and he cheats with you, now he loves you, he doesn't want to cheat on you. It's not pretty. I'm telling you, it's not pretty. We do have somebody on the phone. We had a lot of calls on this one. Stephanie, what do you want to say? Hi, Stephanie.
Just going with your theory, Dave, that I think, is more of a utopia, the way you're saying it, where you marry somebody that you're in love with at the time. So then theoretically, if you fall out of love, which is okay, people do that, and there's nothing wrong with no longer being in love and finding somebody you truly then are in love with. But then what's to say that you don't fall out of love with them? It's almost okaying going outside of your marriage to have an affair because potentially there's always going to be a new love of your life.
You know what? I'll go ahead and take that a step further. I think that people marry somebody that they think they are in love with. They think they have a great relationship, and they think they have a great sex life.
Well, same with the
Wait,
person
can I
you cheat
finish,
on.
though? Can I finish? They think they have it all. Then they meet somebody who they really love, and they go, oh, this is what love feels like. This is what a great sex life is like. And they go, I didn't have that before. And sometimes you don't know that until after you've cheated.
And I mean, I could totally see that point of view because, yes, sometimes you really don't know something if you've never experienced it. Because I guess I've just been lucky to have found someone who I like very much care about and love and stuff. And like, I wouldn't have settled for anything else. Like I said, when I was single, there were relationships I could have been in, but I knew it just like wasn't fully for me because I knew what like a really good love felt like. So I was able to experience that and then go out dating and realize that there wasn't great loves out there with these people. So I'm also like not going to take away from the fact that like a lot of people have kids or have been married for a very long time or like are tied together in other aspects. And that changes the scenario. I will still stand by the fact that a conversation should be had with the partner though ahead of time and like things should be figured out because I also think that you can say that you fall out of love with someone, but truthfully, everyone starts a relationship in a honeymoon phase. Eventually, you are not going to look at that person and want to rip their clothes off, spend every second together. Like, you have to work in a relationship. You have to choose to continue to be in love with someone.
I totally disagree. You cannot choose to continue to be in love with somebody.
I do think that you
Your
have to
heart-
choose to love someone. Yes, you do. Because
I
just think
disagree.
about how much you might love something. You start to love something, for instance, like, I don't know, radio, for instance. Like I started in radio and I loved radio so much. It has been a roller coaster here and there of things where I've been like, do I love radio as much? And I have to remind myself sometimes of like why I love this job. I think that that is the same in a relationship because it's new and shiny at first. And eventually it's not this new shiny thing.
Right, but you still have to love them enough. And I've said this for years. I said, if your relationship passion is a 9 and over the next few years it goes down to a 6, that ain't bad. But if you start it and it's a 6 and it goes down to a 3, then you're in trouble. Sally, last word on this. We're going to take a break and do the ticket tag for, actually, we're going to take calls right now for Billie Eilish. I know it's a change of subject, but that's what we're going to do. Sally, what did you want to say about the whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to agree with you, Dave, here, but my fiance at the time and father of my 2-year-old daughter cheated on me and is now married to that woman, and she is the best stepmom I could ever ask for, and I am very grateful for her.
So you actually, I mean, your marriage was not working. He cheated, and looking back in hindsight, you're like, kind of glad it worked out that way.
Absolutely, because I would have never left.
Were you cheating?
No, I was not.
Okay, interesting.
No.
And you
Sally,
don't hold
thank
any
you.
like harsh feelings to that because it ended up working out great for you guys, right?
Oh, Lord, I mean, I went to therapy for years for it, so I had a lot of bad feelings. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It was about my kid, and she's a great stepmom, and that's all I could ask for.
I'm glad you lucked into a great stepmom.
Yeah.
Okay,